So I've been using this MacBook for about 6 months now, and it has been my main editing computer. I do all my work on it, corporate, YouTube, everything. I have put this thing through its paces, and I'm just here to talk to you guys about my experience. I'm not gonna go in depth about the numbers and the spec stuff and the scientific stuff behind it. I'm just gonna talk about my experience and what I think about this MacBook Pro. What is going on, guys? It's your boy Randy with OnEdge TV, and today we are talking about the 14-inch MacBook Pro M1 Pro. That is a mouthful. Let's get it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the speed. We all know the M1 chips are phenomenal. They have some great performances, especially with video editing and other type of stuff in that field. The M1 chips are a game changer. So with this computer, it has been a major upgrade from my M1 MacBook Pro. So the M1 Pro, it crushed everything I threw at it. 4K 60, 6K, everything. It handled B-raw, it handled A7S3, 422, 10-bit color, everything. It just handled everything I threw at it. And I had Premiere Pro open, Photoshop, I had Lightroom, and After Effects with Google Chrome running all at the same time, and I had no issues with anything. There has been some days where it might lag a little, but that's very slim to none. So far it cuts footage like butter. A lot of times when I'm on Premiere, I play everything back at full playback, because a lot of my work I'm doing either 4K or some of it is 1080, so I'm not really like shooting 8K red raw. I'm sure this thing can handle it if you run at half quality or maybe run some proxies. But just me doing the basic interview talking head stuff that I do, because my main work is interviews and talking heads and stuff like that. This thing has handled it with color grading and layers and After Effects. I've used Element 3D on After Effects if you're familiar with that, but it's just been a breeze. So let's talk about the screen. Yes, it's a 14-inch screen, so there's not a lot of real estate on the screen. So a lot of editors like myself, we would plug it into another external monitor. But a lot of times I would check my color grading and my colors on this screen because it is super accurate. It's a liquid Retina XDR display, and it's one of the best screens I've ever used on a laptop. Coming from the MacBook Pro 2020 M1 MacBook Pro. That's these names, Apple, come on. But I'm coming from that, and this is my upgrade, and I can see a major difference. Like the blacks are true blacks, and it's just the HDR is insane. It just looks great overall. To piggyback off of the screen, let's talk about the size. It is a 14-inch Mac. It is a little bulky. It's a lot bigger than my other one, just by a little bit. But I haven't run into any issues with carrying it around. I've traveled on planes with it. I've been in hotels, coffee shops, everywhere. This has not been a major issue for me as far as traveling. I would not go up to a 16-inch because me personally, that's just too much computer. I think the 14-inch for me is the sweet spot. It's not too small and it's not too big. Pause. So let's talk about the keyboard and the trackpad. I don't have much to say about the keyboard besides it feels good to type on it. That's really it. I don't know the specs and stuff. The trackpad is also nice, but I mainly use a mouse because I'm coming from a desktop setup. So when I usually dock it and I just use a mouse. Even when I'm out and I have time, I'm gonna be sitting down for a long time, I would use a mouse, a magic mouse. So, but the trackpad is nice. It's pretty big. It's spacious. It's very responsive. But that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now the speakers on this thing is great. A lot of times I don't even use headphones because these speakers are phenomenal. It's like it's an immersive sound. It's like I could be editing and it just sounds great. I can't even say much about it. It's just besides that the speakers on this thing sound awesome. So let's talk about who this computer is for. Honestly, it's for just about anybody, the majority. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on the M1 Max chip or even the Mac Studio and stuff like that, and you don't want to use the M2 or the M1 MacBook Pros, then I definitely recommend the M1 Pro, because it's right there in that sweet spot. It's like right there in the middle. It can handle just about everything. Let's face it, 99% of you guys watching this video is not editing RAID RAW or any type of raw video at all. If you're someone who's just like me, you shoot 4K and you do minor color grading on those 4K videos, and you're not someone who's doing massive projects with massive motion graphics and title animations and just 3D animation in general, then this MacBook, well, honestly, it'll take care of everything you need and then some. So if you're looking for an upgrade to your current setup, then I definitely recommend the M1 Pro. But if you're someone who's just going to stay stationary mostly, then definitely look at a Mac Studio. My MacBook, I got the base model M1 Pro, so everything is base. I can't remember the specs off the top of my head. I just know everything is base, and it's done a phenomenal job so far. Again, it's only been 6 months, but yeah, so far it hasn't had any issues. It's still running as fast as it used to. But yeah, if this video was helpful, hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it with a friend. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about getting the M1 Pro, or if you already have one, let me know what you think about it. But yeah, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.